Hi, and welcome to Tea and Tournaments. My name is Lisette Leberger. I've been part of the SCA for over 20 years and an MOL for almost as long. This series of videos is designed to help people, specifically MOLs and marshals, design and run different styles of tourneys at their practices and events. If you have any questions, my contact information will be at the end of the video. Today we're going to be discussing single elimination tournaments. I always start off with a little bit of organization and communication because it's so important to have a successful tournament or experience for everyone involved to communicate effectively. So between the MOLs and the marshals especially, plan on talking to each other about a few certain things on how the tournament is going to run. How are the pairings going to be announced? Who and how will the results be reported back to the MOL table? And how will you adjust if the number of combatants does not fit your original plan? So all of these need to be taken into consideration whenever you are first starting to plan for your tournament, whether it's at a practice or whether it is at an event. Now, elimination tourneys in general, these are designed to decrease the number of participants until there is a single victor. Okay, so after someone loses either, in this case, a single tournament or a single bout, they are done for the day. Double eliminations, which will be a separate video, they'll have the opportunity to lose twice before their day is finished. So why do we use single elimination tournaments or elimination tourneys in general? It does give us a clear winner, and it's a widely recognized format. Okay? It's orderly, it's pretty easy to follow. And we can also use the single eliminations in combination with others like a round robin to take a large group of fighters and boil it down to a much smaller, more manageable number to get to our single winner. Now, the single elimination tourney, each set of fighters each fighter is paired up with another fighter for the first round. Okay? Now, these pairings, depending on the nature of your tournament, can be a very laid-back manner, or it can be a little more stressful, as in a crown tourney or something like that, which is normally double elim, but you get the idea. Now, setting the initial pairings, this is between the MOL and the marshal, however they see the event progressing. You can arrange the fighters alphabetically by their names from the sign-in list. You can pair them top to bottom based on the order in which they signed into the MOL table. You can do a random draw. I had a king at a crown tourney decide that he didn't want to do order of precedence, and we turned all the cards face down on the table, and he picked up the cards two at a time and paired them up that way. So you can do a random draw, or you can have an impartial person draw each pairing as well. And then, of course, there's the more high stakes type of the order of precedence, where you need to have access to your kingdom's order of precedence, and the rankings are used. Dukes are seated towards the top or at the top, and then you go through viscounts and counts and knights, and then other peerages and baronage, and then all the way down through your brand new fighters who have no titles at your lowest end. So you go through that order of precedence, giving deference to your more experienced or higher ranked fighters and placing them in a certain order in the tourney brackets. Now, with elimination tourneys, numbers become more important for your fighters or for your tournament brackets as well. The brackets are also called trees. So we look for a perfect number that completely fills out our tournament bracket or our tourney tree and leaves no gaps. For single elimination tournaments, these are in multiples of 8. You can also use multiples of 4, but there's a little bit of wiggle room with that. But anything considered as a multiple of 8 will give you a perfect tree, because we base our trees on 8s, 16s, 32s, and 64s, 64 fighters. Now, if you have less than that perfect tree number, you have to consider using buys to fill in those empty spots in your bracket. Now, buys can be non-destructive, meaning that there is no fighting for that particular person for that round if they have a buy fight, or they could be destructive or tiring buys, meaning that the fight is still fought with an extra combatant that's on the side of the field, to give your tourney participant an equal number of bouts so they are tired as much as anybody else, or they can be destructive and toss them out of the tourney as well. That's not normally done, but it is an option. Now, if you have slightly more than your perfect number, you end up doing challenge-ins, where if you have a tourney tree of 8 people and you have 10 fighters, well, that 9th and 10th person will have to challenge in for someone's spot within the tourney bracket itself. So they challenge somebody else in the initial round for their spot. If the person who was already in the tourney loses, then they're off and the challenger takes their spot. So you can do challenge-ins, but you want to aim for that perfect tree number of 8, 16, 32, and 64. Most of the time we're not going to have those, so buys and challenge-ins are definitely something that we need to know how to handle. Now, this is an example of an 8-person single elimination tourney tree or tourney bracket. You can see that there are 8 blanks over here on the left, and then we have the green arrow where our winners will progress to the right through the bracket. Okay, now ideally, like I said, you're going to have 8 fighters for one name for each one of those lines. And if you have just slightly less, let's say 7 or 6, then you're going to have 2 buys. And you want to try and space out your buys so that they're not in the same half of the tourney bracket. So let's say you put one buy all the way up at the top and then the other one all the way at the bottom. That way those buys kind of take care of themselves and come out of the tourney bracket before you get to the winner's side, and you don't have those buys interacting as well. More important whenever we get to double eliminations, but that's a good practice to have for your single eliminations as well. All right, so here I have my 8-person tourney tree or tourney bracket. This is single elimination, so once these gentlemen fight, whoever loses will be done for the day. Typically, the single elimination is used as an add-on to like a round robin or a Bedford or a bear pit to take the winners from those larger fields and boiling it down to a single winner. So hopefully these cards will go out, these gentlemen will fight honorably, and the cards will come back to me hopefully with the way that the marshal and I have agreed as far as the communication goes. Typically, I like to have the winner index card on top, and then whoever is reporting back to me will also say who the winner is. So whenever this first round comes back, Ragnar's card should be on top, and then they will also tell me that Ragnar was the winner. Same thing with the other 3 bouts for the first round. And then we'll send these cards back out. Ragnar and Kuin will be paired up, and Logan and Goose will be paired up. Those cards will come back. We'll have Ragnar on top. They'll tell me Ragnar is the winner. And then also Logan's card will be on top, and Logan will be the winner. And then we send it out for the last round for the winner. And in this case, my scenario, Logan is the winner. So hopefully you have a better idea of how to run a single elimination tournament using a bracket and communicating with the marshals or the field staff. Again, if you have any questions, you can use either one of the emails that are listed here. One is a Gmail account, and the other one is our EthelMark email. Again, I'm located in the Shire of King's Crossing. I'm just below Barony March Debatable Lands and just north of Misty Highlands. But again, no matter where you are in the kingdom, please feel free to send me an email if you have any questions or concerns, or you just want to chat and talk something through that you've been thinking about.